I will just go on and tell, she grew up in North Greece, and as a little girl she was persecuted for her faith from her peers in the school. She was thrown with stones, and they were making fun of her being a Christian. So she was familiar with this kind of attitude. She was a little girl. And growing up, she was getting stronger in faith because she also grew up in a little community where they were a minority but strong believers. And then growing up, she learned her husband, and they both, I think her husband was Canadian, but he was not Greek, and that's why her last name is Isch, which is not Greek. And they were trained to be missionaries, and they were a lot in Niger in Africa, and she was also very active in speaking in women's conference, etc. But we are not presenting her for this. But after her husband died, I want to share what she writes in her homepage, because this shows everything. Since the Lord took my dear husband to glory 16 years ago, which she was over 65, I think. Yeah. So everybody thinks, okay, now it's over, and yeah, and then it started. She was still ministering in Africa, and I could sympathize with the widows more than ever, because she knew now how it was to be alone. And when she was once in West Africa, in Burkina Faso, she talked with the widows there, and God put in her heart to work for these widows and maybe help them. They never complained, the widows, or demanded anything from me, but when I started inquiring more deeply about how they were making it in life, I realized that these widows just existed, fighting to keep themselves alive and also to keep their children with them. After their husband's death, these women were often left on their own with no material or moral support. Many times they were accused for the death of their husband, that they were not taking care of them, or for having a bad spirit. I find this terrible, and I will keep it short. She created a project which is called Dorcas. This is from the New Testament, Dorcas project, and they are supporting many women of being selbstständig, independent, and creating small businesses so they can keep their children and make it in life. This is Soula. And she's over 80, and just as a little girl.